Carly is shocked. Brennan is the one who bombed Sonny's apartment. General Hospital spoilers. The winter chill bit into Carly Spencer's skin as she walked briskly through the streets of Port Charles. Her thoughts were a whirlwind of confusion and suspicion, but nothing could have prepared her for the storm about to hit. Sonny Corinthos' apartment had been bombed a week ago, and the fallout had shaken the entire town. Carly had spent sleepless nights trying to piece together who could be behind such a brazen attack. Sonny had enemies, that was no secret. But this was different. This was personal. As she approached the Metro Court, her phone buzzed in her coat pocket. Pulling it out, she saw Jason Morgan's name flashing on the screen. Jason, ever the loyal enforcer and Sonny's best friend, had been working tirelessly to track down the culprit. Carly answered immediately. "Jason," she said, her voice tight with anticipation. "Carly, we need to talk." "It's about the bombing." Jason's voice was grim, sending a shiver down her spine. "Did you find something?" she asked, her heart pounding.
"Yeah.
"Meet me at the safe house. It's important." Carly didn't hesitate. She hailed a cab and directed the driver to the secluded location Jason had mentioned. Her mind raced with possibilities. Had Jason identified one of Sonny's rivals? Was it Cyrus Renaud, or perhaps a new player in town? Whatever it was, Carly knew it would change everything. When she arrived at the safe house, Jason was waiting outside, his expression unreadable. He led her inside, where a familiar face was already seated at the table. Brennan Ford, one of Sonny's most trusted associates. Carly's brow furrowed in confusion. "Brennan? What's going on?" she asked, looking between him and Jason. Jason closed the door and leaned against it, his arms crossed. "Carly, you need to hear this. Brennan has something to tell you." Brennan's usually confident demeanor was replaced with unease. He avoided Carly's piercing gaze, his hands fidgeting on the table. Finally, he spoke. "Carly, I need to come clean." "About the bombing," Brennan began, his voice barely above a whisper. Carly's stomach dropped. "What are you talking about?" "It was me," Brennan admitted, his words like a thunderclap in the small room. "I'm the one who bombed Sonny's apartment." For a moment, Carly couldn't breathe. The air seemed to leave the room, and her vision blurred with disbelief. "What?" she finally managed to say, her voice trembling with a mix of anger and shock. You did this?" "Why?" Brennan's shoulders slumped, and he ran a hand through his hair. "It wasn't supposed to go down like this. I didn't want anyone to get hurt. It was just supposed to send a message." Carly's mind raced, replaying every interaction she'd had with Brennan over the years. He had always been loyal, dependable. How could he betray Sonny like this? How could he betray her? "A message," she spat, her voice rising. "You call blowing up Sonny's home a message? You could have killed him, Brennan. You could have killed innocent people." Jason stepped forward, placing a hand on Carly's shoulder to steady her. "Let him explain, Carly. We need to understand why." Brennan nodded, his eyes filled with regret. "I was being blackmailed. Someone has dirt on me. They threatened to expose everything if I didn't do what they asked. I thought if I just did this one thing, it would all go away." "Who?" Carly demanded. "Who's pulling her strings?" Brennan hesitated, then finally answered. "Victor Cassadine." The name sent a chill through Carly. The Cassadine family was infamous for their schemes and ruthlessness. If Victor was involved, this was far bigger than a simple act of betrayal. Jason's jaw tightened. Victor's been trying to destabilize Sonny's operation for months. This fits his MO. Carly's anger boiled over. "You should have come to us, Brennan. We could have helped you. Instead, you put everyone's lives at risk. Do you have any idea what you've done?" Brennan looked down, shame written all over his face. "I know. I've made a mess of everything. I'll do whatever it takes to make it right." Jason exchanged a look with Carly. "We'll deal with Victor. But first, we need to make sure Sonny's secure. Carly, you should tell him what we've learned." Carly nodded, though her hands were still trembling. She turned to Brennan, her voice cold. "You're coming with me. Sonny deserves to hear this from you." Brennan swallowed hard but nodded in agreement. "I understand." As they left the safe house, Carly couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. Victor Cassidy's involvement meant that the stakes were higher than ever. And while Brennan's betrayal cut deep, Carly knew she couldn't afford to dwell on it. There was a war brewing in Port Charles, and she would do whatever it took to protect her family.